If you're a heat and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, what's a BAMFAM and what does it have to do with your sales process? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a fantastic day to talk about you. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento. All right, so here's the thing. You may say, hey, Scott, what's a BAMFAM and why is this important? It's book a meeting from a meeting. Book a meeting from a meeting. And the reason why this is important is we all get busy. We all have other things to do in our lives. We all have other strategies, books to read, videos to watch, family to hang out with, pets to play with, movies to go to, sports, gym. And so here's what happens. You meet with Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, and you're like, hey, you know what? I got to get you on the books for a meeting. And they go, well, you know what? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And so then you get stuck and that meeting has like a lesser chance to happen. So I'm going to introduce you to a concept that I found from a dude named Chet Holmes. Chet Holmes wrote a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine, probably one of the best books that I've read out of hundreds of sales books. And one of the strategies that Chet Holmes would say is, do you happen to have your calendar handy? So let's say that you're meeting with Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, or your potential client, and you really need to book an appointment for whatever reason. Well, one of the easiest things to say is like, hey, great, I understand that you want to take care of this appointment. Do you happen to have a calendar handy? And most people have a cell phone or they have something that they write in that is a calendar. And they go, yeah, let's get a minute, okay? So if you work in a field where you have a dispatcher or somebody you call, you are going to book that meeting from a meeting and do a BAMFAM, right? BAMFAM. And the reason is super importante for you to get this done is that way they don't get caught up in not setting the appointment, that they don't get anything going on, and you're good to go. And this right here is why you should join my email publication. Just go right here above my head. There's a URL. Type it into a browser. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. So here's what you need to know is most people don't think in this terms and they leave things to a chance. And when that happens, you get stuck going, I put all this time, energy, and effort in, and nothing happens. So what do you do if the person says, well, you know what, I call you. Like there's going to be an objection. You need to be aware that there's going to be an objection or two. I'll just call you. Like your answer should be like, well, let's put something on the calendar scheduled tentatively. Let's get something, at least we can say, hey, let's get the ball moving, and then we can go from there. Okay? The person may say, well, I'm really busy. I'm like, that's why you do it right now. Like I have my calendar and you have your calendar. They may come back and say, well, I'm not really interested. Okay. If somebody's not really interested, then pull back a little bit and go, okay, then we definitely shouldn't do anything. Okay? But like, that's not done. You're not done with the conversation. To help me out in the future, would you mind sharing with me like what happened? Like just make sure you like check your vocal pitch and tone, very non-threatening. Like, would you mind sharing with me what happened? You know, what led to that? You know, to help me clarify my mind to be better in the future. And no matter what they say, there's probably one or two other reasons behind that. And a lot of it's going to come down to trust. Just be aware that it's going to be normal. Don't get your feelings hurt. Be like, why are you not doing a meeting with me? Just be aware that sometimes people are busy and they go, hey, we'll call you. If that happens, right? Let's say that you and I are talking, you go, hey, Scott, I'll call you. And like, I realize that there's a potential that there's a deal here. I'm going to go, great. Last thing here. If I don't hear from you, would it be okay if I contact you in about 72 hours? And they say yes. Okay. Follow-up question, just to make sure you're going to accept my call, right? Like, here is the thing. If they're really going to tell you no, and they really don't want to do it, and they commit to taking your call, like, it's okay to call them and reach out and say, hey, like, we talked 3 days ago, you know, and you can leave this on a message. I always like leaving this on a message. Hey, we talked 3 days ago. You said to give you a call, that you would accept my call. Like, I'm going to like go for, this is what you shared with me. These are things that you told me. We're going to make this happen. So here's the thing. Book a meeting from a meeting. It'll make your sales a lot easier. Doesn't mean you're going to close a deal. No. But at least you had the second bite at the apple. You got one of three things to do from here. Just one of three. Find the subscribe button. Click on it. And every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.